G'day Saints fans, I'm joined by your fearless leader, Mr. Alan Richardson. Thank you, Richo, for joining me today.
Good to be here, Ollie.
Now tell me, I did call you the fearless leader. If you could choose a title for yourself, what would you roll with?
Don't know, I'm not into titles. Premiership winning coach.
Geez, that rolls off the tongue well. Now, whispers on the street yesterday that you had to make an emergency dentist appointment. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, feeling much better. No, training yesterday started to get a little bit of swelling in the side of the scone, and emergency call to Kenny Hinkley, obviously over here. Know Ken very well, and he got me into his dentist. Although the dentist is a former board member of the Port Adelaide Footy Club, and he did tell me afterwards that he stuck a couple more needles in without anything in him, just so that he could get back at me. But no, all good now.
Good to hear, mate. I'm glad. Now tell me, bit of pressure obviously for staff, players and fans coming into the draft. How have you felt coming into this week?
Look, really positive. Our guys have been back at training, so as a footy coach, that's really been my focus. Tony Elshaw and his crew have done an enormous amount of work. They're in really good form. In my 2 years here, they've been exceptional in terms of what we've done from a drafting and a trade point of view, for that matter. So I'm really relaxed. I know that our guys have done the work. My role is relatively insignificant, really. Here, I support the work that they've done. Of course, I'm across some of the choices we'll end up making. Very different to last year. We came here last year knowing what we're going to do with pick one. That's the only time that you absolutely know what's going to happen. So this is a bit different. There's a bit of uncertainty in terms of what might happen in front of us, but that's okay. The work then that you've done puts you in a really good position to make a strong decision when it is your choice.
Absolutely, and obviously, as we spoke about, you've got a fantastic group of people behind you in terms of list managers and recruiters. Do you feel, though, as a head coach, you can often claim a lot of the credit for the good decisions, and then also claim a bit of the blame for the not so good decisions?
No, not really. I think because we communicate, I can only talk about internally. Externally, yeah, I reckon if a player doesn't make it, it can go a bit of both ways. It can be that perhaps he hasn't been coached well, or that perhaps he didn't live up to the expectations that we had him for a number of reasons. It might be that we didn't quite historically get the picks right, but certainly internally, no. There's real transparency about the selections that we make and the coaching that we're going to apply. We're very blessed at the footy club to have some really strong people. Adam Kingsley just got voted Assistant Coach of the Year. Danny Sexton became runners-up. Paul Hudson was the VFL Coach of the Year. We have the only woman coach in Peter Searle. So we've got a great group. We're really confident that we're in a really good space given where we're at as a footy club, and that is we want to stockpile elite young talent and make sure that they stay and make sure that they develop and make sure that they become the players that Tony Elshaw and his team expect them to become, and we can guarantee our fans that we're doing really good work in that space.
Fantastic. Now, obviously, we've got 5 Jacks at the club already, and we've just brought in Jake Carlos. That's close enough. Can you confirm or deny over the next few years we will be looking at bringing in a few more, just to help out the roll call, if anything?
Yeah, no, it's very frustrating. I'll yell out Jack, and 5 people will turn around, and you're right, Jake is pretty close. I didn't really think about that. It's obviously 18 years ago, it was a very popular baby name, wasn't it? So I imagine that'll start to fall away. These things can become a bit of a trend, can't they, the names? Certainly no Alan's coming through.
Well, I was going to say, fingers crossed over the next few years.
Who knows? But we'll just pick the best player. We don't really care what they're called.
Now, just on that, obviously there's a lot of St Kilda supporters actually, in the draft. Do you mind if they're not a St Kilda supporter? Would you be slightly more gravitated towards a player, say if there was 2 players of a similar talent and potential, would you be slightly more gravitated towards a St Kilda fan?
No, not really. Once again, I'm going to say that the guys do an enormous amount of work on how good they are as players, how good they are as people, and do they complement the work that we've already done. So we're really happy with what we've done with inside midfielders. With David Armitage halfway through the year was All-Australian contention, even Brownlow contention. We think Seb Ross is going to be a really good player. We think Dunstan, who was a former captain of SA Championship winning team is going to be a really good player for our footy club, and they still need to improve and grow. We need to complement those guys. So are they really good players? Are they really good people? And do they complement the work they've done? But having said all that, it's quite like for Loney last year. So Loney gets drafted. Before I even meet him, he's down at the footy club on the shoulders of his mates, you know, getting his photo taken out the front because he's a Saints fan. He lives 5 minutes around the corner. I mean, that is brilliant, and it's romantic, and I suppose in some ways it's a bonus, but it's not a big factor, no.
Sure. Now, can you confirm or deny that you are indeed looking at a possible man bun, just in the spine, maybe to help out Brucey?
I thought you were talking about me then. No, we don't want too many more man buns. We just want blokes to play good, strong footy. As long as Brucey keeps playing well, he can have the man bun. But if his form drops away, the man bun. I've already told him this. The man bun goes, and he just gets back to being much more conventional. And I'm fairly conservative like that. Although I've copped a bit of criticism for Eli. Eli's footy wasn't as good as we wanted last year. He'd be the first to admit that, and that's coincided with the locks going. So I've given him permission to get aggressive again with the hair, and we'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed. Hey, just one more from me. Obviously, a couple of new boys at the club already, and the 1 to 4 year players have been back. How's the feeling in the camp regarding, obviously, Freeman and Carlisle and the likes of settling in with new teammates?
Oh, it's been really positive. There was a different kind of conversation given the circumstances surrounding Jake, but our players have embraced Jake. They've given him real clarity around what's expected, but predominantly a really positive, constructive message. Hey mate, you're one of ours now. You're a Saints man, and we're going to support you. We want you to be the player that you want to become, and clearly the player that we traded in for. He's got the potential to be a ripper. Freeman's a very exciting, enthusiastic, passionate Saints man. He's a player that you referred to earlier, St Kilda supporter his whole life. He's just over the moon to be at our club. He has the potential to be a really significant player for us. Our fans like me saying significant, I know that. And our young blokes are training the house down. Now our more experienced players came back on Monday, with the exception of Joey and Rui. They'll join shortly. Rui not until after Christmas. He's having an extended break, but there's a real sense of training for with real purpose in mind. The guys we have a new conditioning coach that breeds some stimulus, but no, it's a very exciting time to be at the club.
Fantastic, and I look forward to obviously round 1 here in Adelaide against Port Adelaide. Massive game. Are you feeling confident?
Well, it's a long way off, but yeah, no, we're looking forward to the challenge. We know that they're going to bounce back. Pretty good mates with Kenny, and we've had breakfast together this morning, and now we're looking forward to that game. There's a lot of water to go under the bridge. We've got a draft. We've got a lot of training to go, but it's a good opener of the season.
Fantastic. Well, I look forward to having a chat with you then. Until then, good luck with everything, and I'll see you soon. Good on you, mate.
Good stuff.
Cheers.